Okay, hey everybody, it is Cleta Colson-Eyre. It is, I don't know what day it is actually. I think it's March the 20 something, 24th, I think. Um, and so anyway, today, of course, it's Sunday, and I just got back from my first career conference. I went to career conference in Novi, Michigan, right next to Detroit, and left the 80-degree weather of South Georgia and went up to the cold country. And so it even snowed while I was there. And so before that, I went up to Sault Ste. Marie, which is, if you're familiar with Michigan, Michigan is like a thumb. This is how they always show it, like a thumb. And then up here is some stuff, and it's called the Upper Peninsula, and I'm way up there. And so it was in the 20s, and it was, I mean, I have never seen so much snow. In fact, they hadn't had this much snow, they said, in 20 years. Literally, some roofs were falling in because the snow was so heavy on the houses and some barns and stuff like that. And so it was beautiful, though. Like, if you never see snow, it is pretty to see it. And so my girl, Lindy Blair, and I, she is my offspring up in Sault Ste. Marie. She and I really, we got up every single day and put on our director suit early in the morning, and we worked all day, every day. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday, we left at 7 a.m. and drove 6 hours to Novi, Michigan with 7 of us in the car, and we had a ball. And so I'm going to share a little bit about our career conference. I'm going to Orlando on Friday with all my Georgia, Florida girls, and cannot wait. And I know several of y'all are going to Mobile and Kansas City, I guess. Is that where you're going, Jana? Well, I got her muted. But anyway, so we're all going to be like fired up even more by next Sunday night, for sure. So tonight, before we get started, I do want to just do a little shout out. Congratulations to all of you who have gotten recruits this week. If you're on our Boss Babe Boxer group, and let's just say this, if you're not on it, you should get on it. Just let me know and I'll add you to it. And every time you get a recruit, you just screenshot, just like Sister Rosemary did today. You just screenshot that you got a recruit, and it'll look just like this. See if I can get that up there. Okay, hang on. No, well, y'all can see it. Let me go maybe back here. But anyway, it's the screenshot of the cruise ship that says you got a recruit. And put that on there so we'll know who's recruiting. And so I've asked everyone on the Voxer group, instead of saying congratulations, 25 times, let's just hit the little heart. And then you congratulate them in person. You can just click on their little cute face, and if you want to congratulate them, send them a Voxer message and say congratulations. That way we don't have just long lines of congratulations, even though it is exciting, you know. And so I want to say congratulations too, but we got a lot of people on there, and if we keep it kind of tight, I think it'll be a little bit better. And so anyway, I want to congratulate all of you who have gotten recruits last week. I want to congratulate one of my unit members, Veronica Brown. Veronica has stepped up, and she has 11 team members. She has 8 active, so she will be our next DIQ going in April 1st. And she's gotten 3 consultants already that have recruited people on her team. So she is working toward that cruise. Katrina Taylor, one of her girls who's on here today, they got a recruit today. So Katrina has 2, and then one of her gals, Viella, has 1. And it seems like there's one more that has 1. But she's working on those 3 red jackets. And Veronica has only been in the company since February the 1st. So I'm going to have her speak on one of the Boss Babe calls. But I know she is in Jacksonville. She's on the call, but I'm going to give her a little fair warning. But anyway, you guys will be hearing from her. But, you know, one of the things that she and I talked about, we had lunch last week or the week before, and one of the things we talked about is how she's not begging people to sign up. She is being bold and confident about Mary Kay and the money you can make and the kind of company it is, and basically saying, do you want to come with me? And when you're bold and you're a leader, people want to follow you. When you're begging and you're pitiful, people do not want to get on your team. So remember that when you're trying to recruit people, and don't beg. Don't beg. Take it away from them if they don't want to do it. Just say, you know what, you might be better off being a customer. And so you'll be surprised, because people want to follow you if they think you're going somewhere. Okay, I am going to let Miss Valerie Otterness, she just went to career conference in California in Anaheim, and I asked her to share think my internet is unstable. Okay, I asked her to share a little bit about her conference and some of the speeches because we all have different nationals and different top directors. So, Valerie, just come on board. I think I've got you unmuted, and you can share for a few minutes.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay.
Let me see if I can see you, though. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me get you on here. I'm going to spotlight you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we went to Anaheim, right across from Disneyland, and we had Katrina Harris Earl, one of our nationals. I think she was the #4 national there. And she gave us 10 tips on, of course, you know, making that Destination Red thing happen. So I'm going to give you some of the 10 tips that she gave, and then I'll have another, one of our other directors, top directors spoke. So I'll give you some of those tips as well. Katrina said there's 10 things that you need to do to make this Destination Red happen. The first thing is see the possibilities. See all the possibilities that you have, what you need to do. Number 2 was make your Mary Kay action plan and set a goal with a deadline, because if you don't set the goal with a deadline, it's not going to happen. She said you need to do your weekly accomplishment sheet every week and your weekly plan sheet so you can see your action that you're taking, and so you can be focused on that. Number 3 was watch out for the pirates. You know, the dream stealers, the pirates are in your own mind. She goes, your own mind, you know, your own mind will talk you in it and talk you out of it. They'll steal your dream. So watch out for the pirates, the dream stealers. Number 4 was focus. Focus on your activity and the work that you need to do. And we all have ADD, active distraction disorder. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have that, ADD. But you need to stay focused and not get into the ADD mode. Number 5 was compass. Get your clear direction on what you need to do to get where you need to go. Number 6 was your journal. Track your faces, your sales, your interviews, and everything that you're doing. Number 7 was show your family the goal and get the gold. That means 5. Number 8 is affirmations. We must have them. She said, what 10 people do you hang around? So that's just a question to ask yourself. We always hear what 5, but what 10 people do you hang around? You need to make your affirmations and get around the people that you need to be around. Number 9 was keys. Earn the key every month. The key will unlock your dream. Number 10 was you need a crew. Your vibe will attract your tribe, but you need a crew to go with you. So that was Katrina's 10 tips that she gave us. And now Manina Givens, she said you have to see it first. Once you make the decision, chart your course. She gave us 8 things that you need to do. First of all, get anchored. Number 2 is put your life vest on and float on. I thought that was kind of cute. Everything has to do with the Destination Red. So I don't know about your career conference, but that's what ours was. Number 3 is life is better at sea. Not sea that you float on, but see what you see. Okay? So life is better at what you see. Take action. Step into the action and dive deep. That was number 4. Number 5 is there are rough days at sea. Obstacles are going to come. Embrace it and get through the obstacles. Number 6 was the ocean breeze. Puts your mind at ease. She said, take some time for yourself. Like go get a manicure, pedicure, get a massage, but take some time for yourself to put your mind at ease. Number 7 was don't get lost at sea. Seize the moment. Every chance you get, seize the moment. Don't get lost and, well, I don't say don't get lost at sea, but you need to seize all the opportunities that God places before you. Number 8 is direct your ship. You must be clear, but direct your ship is directorship, but you must be clear on how to get there. The year 2020 is only 9 months away. Do you have 2020 vision? There you go. Oh, Cecilia James also told us red is the color of success. She looked up the meaning for red, and it shows that red is the color of success. Everybody needs to get into a red jacket or higher. And she said, when everything around you falls apart and everybody quits, you don't quit, you keep going. Well, that's the first 3 speakers that we had. I thought it was pretty good. We had 4 nationals there, and of course 3 of the top directors. But is that kind of what you wanted?
Yes, that's good. That's good. Is there anything else you want to add?
It was very powerful. Well, my girls are all excited. They were like booking people while they were in their class, and I guess they told them to text and book people, so they were on it. They had bookings before we even broke for lunch yesterday, which is kind of cool.
Awesome. Okay. Wow. I'm going to mute everybody and unmute and see what happens. I have an echo. Just a second. Okay, I think that fixed it. Hang on just a minute. Okay. Someone give me a heads up if I'm not echoing. Do I sound okay? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Jana. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, Valerie. Those were great tips. I was writing as fast as I could. So I'm sure somebody's going to say, what were they? But so maybe you can just post them sometime. But I think that the last 10 maybe shared at our career conference too, because not the last of the first ones you gave, because that sounded real familiar. Okay, so I'm going to give you some of the things that were at our conference in Michigan. And I don't know if, let me see if Lindy is on here. Lindy left career conference and flew to Orlando. How rude. Like, she left me and 30 minutes before career conference ended in her state of Michigan and flew to Florida. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. But anyway, she's down there. They had spring break, so there were a lot of them just heading straight to the airport after the thing was over, so it was funny. Okay, so let me tell you a couple of things that I got out of our career conference that I thought was just fantastic. First of all, and you'll see this at yours, I'm sure, as well, is they had several people that have already won the cruise. I think there were 7 or 8 in Michigan that had already won the cruise. And so, it's happening every day now. And one of the things that they were talking about is that that someone will join June 15th and win the cruise. So it's going to happen. Y'all know that. There's the overachievers, right? So they did talk about the cruise, and if you weren't fired up about the cruise, you will be by the time the weekend is over next weekend and after you hear it, because it is the company's singular focus right now is to get everybody on the cruise. And right now, the directors are winning, but now consultants are winning it too, and everybody's catching up. And a lot of people are almost there. And so I feel like these 500 balcony rooms will be gone pretty soon. So we all want to get on it so that we can look out the window on the cruise ship, right? And so we're not on the inside. Of course, I know we'll take it any way we get it, right? So our nationals we had Patrice Smith. Patrice was a brand new national. I met her last year on the top director trip for the very first time. And she is just so beautiful. She's a pastor's wife, and she's beautiful on the inside and out. She was so motivated. So I'm going to share some things with her. We had Andrea Newman Scott. Y'all know she was my adopted national for years. And so Andrea Scott, and she was there. And then Margaret Barch. And it's funny because we're in Michigan, right? Patrice is from Alabama. Andrea is from Florida. And Margaret is from Georgia. So it was like all the Southern girls went to Michigan. And then the top national was Sharon Buck. And Sharon was someone that I have heard before, I think on maybe a Voxer message or something, but I've never been in front of her personally. And she was amazing. I mean, and I told her, I said, people are motivated by different speakers. She motivates me. She's one of these gals that gets up there and she just tells it like it is. She doesn't try to sugarcoat it. And I kind of like that. So those of you that y'all like people to put icing on the front, the middle, and the bottom. She's not that kind. She's just going to tell you. And so when I left, I'm like, that's true. Yep. So anyway, I'm going to just glance through, and I made a few notes of some things that I thought were very good. And I want to just say to the sales directors, one of the things that I thought was very good is that they said this is a 6-month contest, and that we want to keep it in front of our consultants all year long. That, at the beginning, maybe in January, you decorated for the cruise and you did all the stuff for the cruise, and now you're not talking about it as much maybe, or you're not decorating it, your unit meeting, as much as you were at the very beginning. Like the newness has worn off, and they, one of the things they said is, hey, it's a 6-month contest. And you got new people coming in, so you need to be talking about the cruise every single solitary week at every single meeting and every single conversation that you have. So all the new people will understand how to get on it, and then everyone else will go ahead and finish. So I thought, well, that's a good point, because I have decorated, and then I've kind of slacked on not as much decoration. And so we need to really kind of get back on it. And the units that are really killing it with it, I mean, they are, they're on it every single week. So I wanted to just give that to the sales directors. And so I'm going to move over here for a second, because some of this was a director's class that we had. And then, hang on, I'm sorry. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to say is that Saturday started our 100 days until seminar. Well, until June 30th. 100 days. So now I guess it's 99 days until seminar. 99 days. And, we all think we have lots of time. And for a lot of different things, we're like, yeah, I'm going to work on that. Yeah, I'm going to get that by seminar. And then you blink and you open your eyes, and it's seminar. And so we have 99 days to get it done, starting 3/22. And really, this is the best length of time to work on a goal. Longer than that, you tend to procrastinate. Shorter than that, you tend to think you don't have enough time. So this is the perfect, like a lot of people, when you look at a lot of different plans out there for different things, you'll hear of a 90-day plan. And that's just really common. So our 90 days kind of starts at the end of the week. And so really, you can do really anything in Mary Kay in 90 days. You can become a sales director. You can win a car. You can win this cruise. You can move up in the company. I've even seen people who've joined the company and got their diamond and gold bumblebee pin in 90 days by recruiting, it's 24 recruits, by recruiting 8 a month and getting them all qualified and getting their B. I've seen people do even the National Court of Sales in 90 days. So it is available for us. And the great news is we still have some of March left. We have a whole week of March. So this week is key to getting something done toward that cruise. Even if you've not done anything, get a recruit, get your 600 in. If you didn't do 600 in January and February, see what you lack so that you'll have at least 1,800 in by the end of March, so you can be on track for the cruise. And so you want to break it down so that in June the 29th, you're not having to do $3,600, get 6 qualified recruit, and get 3 of them in their red jacket in 2 days. Right? So we do have time, and now is the time. Now is the time to really get serious about it. And just like she was talking about, to prepare your weekly plan sheet, in your one of the girls, and who was it that said this? I think it was Jackie Shaw. She was one of the ones that won the cruise. I think it was her. But she said that you can get a master action list, and you get on a piece of paper and you write down 100 actions that you can take towards your goal, whether it's the cruise or whatever it is. Let's just say it's the cruise. Okay. So 100 things you could do. She says, and it kind of sounds weird, but you just start writing it down. 100. She goes, it might be like, go to the coffee shop and talk to that girl with the red hair that you've been avoiding, or, call so-and-so. Just 100 different things that you can do towards your goal. And then every week before the week starts, you actually write down what action you're going to take that day towards your goal of those 100 things. And so every single day for the next 100 days, you do at least one action item towards your goal. And you write it down and purpose which one you're going to do. And the key is you have to do it first thing in the morning. Like, knock it out at the beginning of your day. instead of procrastinate. So if it's get 5 bookings, then before you do anything else that day, you got to get your 5 bookings, you know? And so she said, you plan it at night, what you're going to do the next day. And then you have your, you have 100, get you a little notebook and that has 100 pages in it. And you write on the top of the page the day. So it would be March, whatever day it is. And I'm sorry, I just don't know what day it is. Maybe it's the 23rd or 24th. It's one of those 2 days. I should just look so I can just not sound, you know, here we go. It's the 24th. All right. So you put March the 24th. And then at the top, you would put what action you did toward the goal, and then what progress you did toward the goal, and what the action, you know, kind of like evaluate your day. How did that action help you get towards your goal and where you're at in your goal? And you may just write it down. I have in. If you already got your 3,600, I have in 3,600. Check. I have in 2 qualifieds. Check, check. I need 4 more. I've got 6 that haven't ordered, you know, and just write it down. And if every single day, I want you to think about this for 100 days, you turn a new page, you wrote down the action you did that day towards your goal, and you wrote down where you are towards your goal. You're going to hit the goal because you're not going to say, well, I just didn't keep up with it, because you're going to know every single solitary day how far you are. And I just don't think you could take a notebook and every single day say, I did no actions for my goal. I have no wholesale in, I have no recruits, and I have no new red jackets. Who would do that for 100 days in a row? Who would write that in a notebook? I couldn't do it. Okay. So I'm challenging you guys to get you a little spiral notebook and that has 100 pages in it. And from now until June 30th, write down what your goal is and where you are on it, and then the action you took that day and how it got you closer to your goal. Okay? And I think that simple thing would help all of us to just keep up with it. Also, one of the things you want to do is you find a buddy that is also going for the same goal, and you hold yourself accountable, because people need an accountability partner. And this doesn't have to be your sales director. You want to be accountable to your sales director, but it's also a running buddy. You know, someone that you may talk to every morning and say, okay, what'd you do? And it doesn't have to be a 45-minute conversation about your whole life and your children and her husband and everybody in your whole family. It's a quick accountability call. All right, I made my 5 bookings. You know, what did you do? Or whatever y'all have challenged yourself for. It's kind of like when you exercise, and maybe y'all have you had a goal that you're going to walk, you know, 3 miles every morning. And if the accountability is calling that person, if you don't walk with them, you know, say, all right, I did my 3 miles. You know, it's someone to be accountable to. So get yourself an accountability partner of someone that has the same goal. And if that person wimps out on you and every day she hadn't done nothing, you need to find a new partner. And it's real easy. You just say, Susie Q, I love you, but I'm going to have to find a partner that's also working, because I got to have someone that motivates me. And when you get ready to start working again, call me back and I can still be your buddy. And I'm still your buddy, but you just can't be my accountability partner. I mean, honestly, you just have to be straight with them. And if you're upfront with each other when you start, it won't be a big deal. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings, because if every single day she hadn't done nothing, that's not a running buddy. She's asleep and you're trying to run and you can't wake her up, right? So find you a running buddy. That's why they say running. Okay. All right. Okay. There was a couple of things, and there was one of the things that one of the gals said. She says, just do it. Don't plan it. You know, how like you're planning to do it. I mean, yeah, we got to make a plan. But a lot of times we plan. We got our plan. We got a strategic plan, but we don't do anything. We just look at that plan. And the plan is so great. And if you gave it to someone who would work, it would work. But if you're not going to work the plan, it's just a plan. It's just a piece of paper with some stuff on it, right? So you got to work the plan. Now, our top directors were really great, and as well. And one of the ones she said, and I don't know why I don't write down what everybody said, but one of the ones was the word dream. And she said, the word was like a little acronym, and dream, the D stands for I double dog dare you to dream big. You know how like in the South, you never double dog dare anybody because then you have to do it. And then R is release yourself from the fears and the limits that you put on yourself. And I don't know if it was her that said this or somebody else, that fear causes inaction, and fear causes you not to be able to set a goal. And so if your director asks you, what is your goal? And you go, I don't really know. Well, fear has limited your thinking, because that's the only reason you wouldn't know a goal, is because fear will not let you say what you really want. You thought it, and then you thought, I can't do it. I'm afraid. And so don't let fear limit your thinking on these goals. You just have to say it, because that's what causes inaction. It's also what causes you not to be able to set a goal. So if you've ever said that to your director, I just really don't know what I want, it's because that's what fear has stopped you. And so we got to squash that. E is expect the great. Expect the great. A is aim high and allow your thoughts to soar. M is meditate on the dream. 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night. And they talked a lot about that, about seeing yourself on the cruise ship. Seeing yourself with whoever you're planning on taking, sitting on the dock, as y'all are sailing, and just sitting there and enjoying a fruity drink on your balcony, and just looking at the water and just thinking, Mary Kay paid for this. I won this cruise for my loved one and myself. Think of yourself at the pool with all the other Mary Kay girlfriends, just getting some sun and having fun, right? Think of yourself at night on the cruise ship when they have a dress-up night. Maybe you want to go dancing or whatever and have a nice meal, or when they stop and you're out just looking around, taking pictures by the beach, the beautiful beach. Really think about that and who you're going to take, and talk to that person and tell them, I'm taking you. You have my word. Let's go ahead and think about what we're going to wear and what we're going to do. Go to the Royal Caribbean website and look at all the things to do on that Bahama trip and on that ship that we're taking. I mean, really investigate. Go ahead and ask off work. Get your passport. I mean, these are some things that you've got to do. If you have another job, you've got to go ahead and ask off work that week. Commit. And if you don't have a passport, you need to go ahead and get it, because you have to have a passport for you and the person you're bringing. So, those are some signs of commitment. When I was going for the top director trip to China, I did not have a passport. And I thought, so at the beginning of the year, I had no reason to get a passport other than going to that top director trip. And so I went and I got me a passport. And my first little stamp in my book was my China trip. And so, I just thought, I'm doing it. I'm going to act as if I'm going to do it. And so I went ahead and got it. And so I think I actually got it the year before, but I didn't make the goal. But, I was at least going for it, right? Okay. And dream no small dreams. Andrea Scott, she had the best, no, I won't say the best speech, but she had a great speech. They were all so good. And I put this on Facebook, but I thought it was so good. And she was talking about her eye story. And she said, she went out and she talked to a lot of people about Mary Kay, and then she got rejected. And she said, I used to take it personally and it just got me down. And then she said, I realized later that they weren't rejecting me. They just weren't ready for me. And I thought, that is so good. So if someone rejects you, instead of thinking they're rejecting me, think they're just not ready for me. They're not ready for me yet. They might be one day, but not today, right? And she also said, never see yourself at the bottom. Only see yourself at the beginning. And I thought that was beautiful. She said, because if you're going for a goal and you feel like you're at the bottom, then the top is so high. But if you feel like, oh, I'm just at the beginning of the goal. So whatever you're going for, you're just at the beginning. You're not at the bottom. The bottom sounds like a loser, right? Like it's like can't get out. I'm swimming. I can't get up. You're just at the beginning. And so I love that mindset of that. And she said, beggars and millionaires have the same 24 hours. So it's just how you use your 24 hours. And then the last thing she said, I thought was so good. She said that way too many of us are just dating our business. We've been dating our business so long and we love it, but we won't commit. and we try to date other people at the same time, like other businesses and other companies, and do other things. We won't just commit and get married. And then one of our good friends sees our business, and they're going to steal your man. They're going to steal your business. Not going to steal it, but they're going to marry it, and they're going to invite you to the big celebration, like the wedding, which is their director debut party. So, you might want to commit and marry your business, and that way you have that commitment, and you're not still thinking, well, maybe I can go back to nursing, or maybe I can go back to teaching school. If you've decided to do your Mary Kay full time, just shut the door, make the commitment, and say, I'm going to make this work. And once you do that, it releases some things from you, so that you're not always got your one foot out and one foot in. And so magic happens, because I truly believe the Lord isn't going to give you more than you will commit to right now. Why would he give you 40 people on your team when you're not even all in, right? You got to be all in. Now, am I saying everybody needs to go quit their job? No. But if you have, and you're doing Mary Kay full time, and you're going to see if it works, then give it your full time effort. That's one of the things that she was talking about. And then I wanted to share this from Sharon Buck. Sharon was just phenomenal. And she said, you want to look, and we've heard this a lot from Donald Sweeney and some other people, but I'm going to say it again because I think it's worth repeating. And she says, when you are evaluating your business, and maybe you're not getting where you want to be, first of all, number one is you want to look at your numbers. And most of the time, we're not seeing enough people. We're not talking to enough people. We've got those two people that we keep talking about. And I've seen this in my own, when I'm doing coaching calls, and sometimes where someone keeps telling me about these two people. Well, I talked to so-and-so again, and she told me she was going to do so-and-so, but she hadn't done it yet. And, she said in May, and then I talked to my cousin, and she's might be almost ready. Or I talked to so-and-so, and she canceled on me again. And they got those two prospects, and that's it. And you guys, we need to have 25 or 50 prospects or 100. We need to have list and list and list to go through. Because if we do, then you're not going to be disappointed. Because even on your own team, a third are going in, a third are going out, and a third are just hanging around. So if you only have 3, and that's all you plan on ever getting, I want to just be real with you. You're not going to stay in your red jacket very long. Because it is rare that 3 people stay active for the rest of their life and never go inactive. Things happen. So you never want to just have 3. Once you get in red, if you want to stay in red, you got to get up to 5 or 6 in case someone doesn't order, because that's her business too, right? You don't want to put pressure on people. So, Mary Kay talked about you want to keep the bathwater going, and you got the drain, right? Okay. And said that some of us are just swimming around the drain with all the people that are fixing to go out trying to save them. Like, please don't leave, don't leave. Instead, we need to be up there with the hot water coming in and getting the new people that are hot, right? And working with the people that are working instead of running down here around the drain, just swimming around it and watching people leave. And so I love that analogy about just looking for the new, because isn't it exciting? All of you that have been recruiting, isn't it exciting when you recruit someone new and they're so excited about their business, and they open that box and they see that starter kit, they put it together, and they're like, wow, the possibilities are endless. Or you're calling this girl that does not even want to do it, and you're begging her. It's so, the difference is incredible of how you're going to feel about your business, where when you're working with someone who wants to do it and you're trying to beg somebody, let them go. I'm telling you, just be like, the movie Frozen, and just let them go and move on and know, hey, that's okay. I got to keep going. That's just the way it is in Mary Kay. And if you hadn't learned it yet, you will. So we're telling you in advance. So number 2 is, so you look at your numbers. Number 2 is the market. Who are you working with? It says who brings the best people in. When you bring your people in the business, you want to look at who they are, who is your market that you're talking to, who are you trying to get in. And sometimes we bring people in the company, and maybe they don't want a team build right that second. They just want to sell, and we're forcing them to team build. Like, and they just want to hold a party. You know, you got to look and see who wants to build the business as recruiting, who wants to just sell. It's okay. You know, I mean, whatever you want to do is fine with your business, and look for the ones that want to build and go for things that work with them. And this is, as the recruiters, you guys are looking for people that to get 3 red jackets off your team. And it's going to take looking at 9 people to get your 3 red jackets, not just 3, because all 3 may not want to recruit. They just say, look, I just want to save some money with Mary Kay, and I want to sell to my 3 cousins and my mom and my sister, and I don't really want to recruit people right now. That's okay. There will be some people who do once you show them the income, okay? So don't force people. Number 3 is look at your skills and your systems. If you're not selling a lot at your parties, then it's not you, it's just your skills have not been built up so that you know what you're doing yet, right? And so you've got to build your skills, and there's only 2 ways to build your skills. 1 is to educate yourself on how to do it, and then 2 is to practice. You know, I could sit and show you a piano and how to teach yourself to play the piano, but if you never got on the piano and actually practice, I just don't know how much good it would do. Right? So you've got to practice your skills. And that's why they say, you know, book 8, hold 5, because at the end of 5 parties, I'll let you know, at the end of 5 parties, you're going to know what you're doing with your parties. It'll just be so easy. You don't have to think about it anymore. Okay. And then the number 4, and she said, know your strength zone and know your joy zone. What are you good at? Whatever you're good at in Mary Kay, I mean, go do more of it. Go do a ton of it. And what makes you happy in Mary Kay? Find that too, your strength zone and your joy zone, and don't compare yourself to others. And then number 4 is then you look at yourself, you personally. And, you know, successful people view themselves differently than unsuccessful people. You know, sometimes the first thing you do is you go, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I recruit? And you look at so-and-so who's recruited 10 people and you haven't recruited any, and you're like, what's wrong with me? Well, what you don't know is that she's talked to 40 people and you've talked to 1. There's nothing wrong with you, except for you are not in reality that you got to talk to more people. So, you know, it's the numbers first. So once you get your numbers and then you look at the people that you're talking to and you get your skills, then if everything is whacked out, then you might need to say, okay, maybe I need someone to listen to me do an interview or to watch my party and tell me what I'm doing that's not good, okay? But really, it's usually the numbers. It really is. So your thoughts equal your emotions, and your emotion equals your actions, and your actions equal your results. So you've got to get your thoughts in order so that your results will be good. And I just love that. Okay. Let me see what else I'm going to tell you that a couple of people said that I put little stars by that I thought was so good. Okay. One of the things that I thought was so great, Margaret Barch talked about this, and she said, you know, you need to continue to be wowed by this company and don't take it for granted. All the stuff that the company is doing for us, these cruises, the prizes, that other companies don't do this. Other companies don't have a meeting and have a give it away now where they give away, you know, 5 designer bags. They just don't do that. You will not see that at other companies. I've been to other company events. They just don't do things like that. You know, other companies don't throw out cruises, throw out bonuses, throw out free cars, and all the special things they do for us. So be wowed by our company of all the things that they're trying to do for us. And it is a gift, and you want to always view it as a gift and don't take it for granted. And she said, if you aren't dead, God is still using you. And what are you doing with your gift? So if you're still living, God's still using you. So he's got plans for you to do something with your life. And that pushbacks and trials and hard times are the preparation for the next step. So when you go through hard times, you know, it's hard. And everybody does. Everybody that's reached the top has gone through hard times. But it prepares you for that next level. And so don't hate on them. Know that you're going to come through them and that it's hard. But on the other side of it, you're a different person and you're a better woman and you're going to be a better leader. And it's going to make you whatever maybe something you lacked, you're going to have. Maybe you lack sympathy for others. And then something happens and now you feel differently. Maybe you needed to be humbled a little bit. You got a little too high and mighty. And then something happens and you're like, okay. So there's things that's happened to me in my life. I can go on in 30 something years of where I got a little too big for my britches. I thought you can't, and it's one thing to be confident, but it's another thing to be arrogant. And, you want to be confident, but being arrogant, nobody really likes that. And, you can be knocked down pretty quick. And then you have a humble and a grateful spirit, and you will attract more people to you. You really will. And so you want to be a woman of your word, and you want to be willing to be bad to get good. And what that means is, maybe you did your first party and you really just weren't that great. It's okay. Go do another one, and go do another one, and go do another one. The first party I did was not great, but I did another one and another one and another one till I got good. So be willing to be bad before you're good, to get good. And it may be that your director asks you to speak. Maybe that your director asks you to speak at the meeting and teach. And you're nervous about that. And you're not even that great. But you know what? Give yourself a chance, because the only way you're going to learn how to speak in front of other people is to speak in front of other people. There's no other way to learn. And so just take a big old gulp and do it. I remember the first time I had to speak on stage. My mouth was so dry. I really felt like someone had stuffed my mouth with cotton balls. I have never even seen how a mouth can get so dry because I was nervous up there, And so, I had to overcome that. So, I've always felt like, I like to talk in front of people, but I wasn't prepared for that dryness of my mouth. How it just like, and no amount of water could fix it. It was just nerves, I know. And so, but the more you do it, the easier you are, and the more natural that you are doing it. And even like Zoom calls and three-way calls and, all the things that we do as leaders, it gets easier and you get better the more you do it. So I'm proud of you, for some of you that step up and do it, even though you're like nervous about it. For example, going live on Facebook. Some people are like, oh, no, Cleta, you can do it. It's okay. You can do it. And people want to see the real you. One of the compliments that I have gotten this weekend and other times is they say, well, Cleta, you're just real. I said, well, I try to be, no one really likes fake. It would be terrible if it was fake Cleta and real people and real Cleta, and so think about yourself. Are you fake? Are you one way with one person, and then you're this way with another person? Just be yourself. And like on Facebook, when I say go live, like if you have a business page or even your personal page, every now and then, just go live and go, hey, y'all, I'm at Career Conference. Oh, my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm at this luncheon. I just want to show y'all and go around. People like to see stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be an hour-long video. It can just be like 5 minutes. But people have no idea when we tell them about seminar and Career Conference and everything we do. They don't understand. But when you put it on there, and it's not like a video of somebody else, it's of you at Career Conference, with all your friends, having fun, and they really see it. I just think your business will grow and your friends will go, wow, I sure don't get that, So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do things that you've never done before. And, one of the things they talked about, and I think Allison said this even last week or the week before, is that hitting goals, it becomes a habit, and not hitting goals also becomes a habit. So which habit are you in? And I think what she said is, have you become okay with setting the goal and not making the goal? Like, it kind of like don't even really bother you because you say it, but in your back of your mind, it's like, it's okay. So when does it become okay that you set goals and don't make them? So you got to get in the habit of like, if you set it, you are going to make it. Just like I remember in college going to, I was a business major, and it was, I think it was, I can't remember what the name of the class was, but it was one where we had to have a business group, like 5 of us, and we had to, simulations is what they call it, business simulations. And we had to like form a company. It's like, simulate a company and do all this stuff and turn all this in. And it was like the first day they told you everything you had to do for the semester. And I remember thinking, I was just blown away. It was so much like what we were going to have to do. And I didn't understand it. And I was on a team with, it was like 6 guys and me. And they were all Mr. Business. And then there was me. And so, I also had a little anxiety about how am I going to get this done? But I know who I am. And what I know about me is that at the end of that semester, I was going to do it. And I was going to make a good grade because I'm a finisher. And I'm not going to not do it. And so I would say, well, I don't know how, but somehow I will finish this class and I'll make a decent grade on it. And so you might have to say to yourself, I don't know how yet, but I will finish this cruise, or I will get in my red jacket, or I will become a sales director, or I will win a new car. I'm not sure how it's going to get done, but just believe me, it is going to get done. And just say it with conviction, and then do that 100-day list, and every day go, what did I do toward that one goal? And that's one of the things that the director, the national says, Sharon Buck, she said, when you have all these things you're working on, just put them all in a funnel. There's a lot Mary Kay's got going on, but what's the main thing you're going for? And you're going to get some of the other things along the way, because like, let's say it's the cruise is the main and the one thing you're going for, then of course you're going to get recruits, you're going to sell and all that other stuff, but that's the main thing you're tracking. Does that make sense? So what is it? Is it that? Is it getting on target for your car? Is it getting your 8 active to go DIQ April 1st? I mean, whatever it is, let that be your goal. And like mine, is definitely, the cruise is in the funnel, but the goal down here is million, and that's what it's been all year. And I got to keep it that way. I can't get so distracted by like 450 things. I just got to work toward that one, and all the others will come with it. That's kind of how I feel on that. So I want to share, I think to end is share, I didn't even write it down, but I can remember it because it was so good. Kayla Steinman. Okay. Kayla Steinman is a 19-year-old girl, and she is Cheryl Steinman's, who just retired from Mary Kay, her granddaughter. And she, on her 18th birthday, she signed her Mary Kay beauty agreement. And that was her gift from her family. She signed her beauty agreement. And she says, most people are out having a big party, and I'm signing up to sell Mary Kay. And she got up there and she shared, now she's young. So her experiences are just 19 years of her life, which most people about it. It's going to be her high school, her high school years, and so, but she talked about, she said, I went through bullying in high school. She said, I had problems with my classes, and I failed. I think she said she failed like 7 classes in one of her high school years. And they said, they're going to have to put you in special ed classes. And she got made fun of because they said, you're not going to be able to pass high school. And, she just really struggled with a lot of different things. And so, and she said but she did, she did make it. She did graduate. And then she said, of course, all her friends are going to college. And her plan was to sell Mary Kay. And so they made fun of her. Well, Kayla, what's your plan B? She says, I don't have a plan B. It's plan A. And so one of the goals that she had is she became a consultant, and then she had to become a sales director in 2 months. She had to get her 8 people so she could go DIQ and then finish in 1 month, because her Nana, Cheryl Steinman, was retiring that next month. So when Cheryl retired, she was able to pass down, just like if we had a jewelry store or a hardware store or a printing company, and you're retiring, you'd want to pass it down to your child or your grandchild, right? You would hope you worked all your life that someone in your family could take over your business, right? So Cheryl has sons instead of daughters. And so Kayla, Cheryl had worked her business for 41 years. And so Kayla said, it was a lot of pressure on me, but I knew I wanted to do it, and I knew I had to do it. I had to get it done in 1 month. So she joined, she went DIQ the next month, and she finished her directorship the next month. And she said that she that next, a few days later, she saw all of those people that were in her grandmother's unit and go in her unit. And she calls her unit Steinman's Diamonds. So cute. And so, but she was very grateful for the opportunity. And she's been a director now a year. And she had those ladies stand up who were all older than her. Most of them probably had been in Cheryl's unit. You know, she had obviously new people there too, her age, but she had a lot that were older than her. But instead of being up there and being arrogant and saying like, because she was the number one director, you know, but she knew that a lot of it had been given to her. But I was so impressed with that young lady. She got up and she was like, you know, I just want to be able to pass on this 41-year-old legacy that my grandmother built. And I want to, you know, I am so grateful for these women that are standing up who are making me the woman that I am, and how much she loved them and how much they loved her. And that it just was really special how she did her speech. And it's the first speech she has ever done. You know, I mean, she's only been a director a year, right? And it's a big responsibility for her. She's going to have to grow in to the position that she is in. But she was very well spoken. And I thought, you know, how many of us would love if you had a 19 or 20-year-old or whoever old your child is, that when you have worked your Mary Kay business, to be able to just to hand it down to them, and then they could start out with great income. Her highest check has been over $10,000 in 1 month. A 19-year-old. Shut up, right? I know her. Once she keeps going, she can see our little college buddies working at McDonald's and go, hey. So, you know, it was just really neat. She did a great job. And it's funny because the number 2 director was in her 60s, maybe 70s. Isn't that something? And then the number 3 director was in her 50s. So, or late 40s, you know. And so it's just interesting, the different ages that spoke at our conference, and it was so good. So it really could hit everybody in the audience. Everybody in the audience could be moved and see themselves in that position. And so I just want to say that if you have not gone to career conference yet and there's room at your site and you've been thinking about it, go ahead and go, because it is something that's going to solidify your goals for going for the cruise. And it's going to just, when you're with that many people, 1,000 to 2,000 people that all have the same goal, you can't help but get fired up. It's going to be amazing. So I just want to share a little bit about the speakers that we had, and hopefully that'll motivate you to, like, this week, get something going for your goal and get that piece of paper out and start writing 100 things that you can do toward your goal, and start spacing them out and do at least one a day. At least one a day. And I promise you, you're going to hit more when you track it like that. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. Bye, everybody.